Hi friends. Two hearts ready to leave everything behind for each other. Their love isn't innocent anymore. It's pure obsession. In today's story, watch how this passion pulls them into a storm of emotions, choices, and unexpected twists. So story begins with Nova's 18th birthday. Today she has turned 18 years old, and on this special occasion, William and Nova's mom Rafaela have arranged a small party together. A lot of people had come, but Nova wasn't enjoying the party at all because Nick wasn't there. Actually, Nick's dad William had sent him away for a law internship. Meanwhile, Nova's friend Jenna comes to her and says, "Come with me, I'll cheer you up." Then both of them go to the room, take out champagne and start drinking. Tomorrow is going to be the last day of school, which they begin to talk about. The mood lightens up a little, but then Nova finds out that Nick has returned. She immediately runs outside like crazy to see Nick and hugs him with joy as soon as she sees him. Then, without saying anything, both start kissing each other. They don't even realize that William and Rafaela are watching all this from the balcony above. Actually, they never wanted Nick and Nova to get close. But Nick and Nova seem to want to erase the distance of months in a single moment. So they begin right there and start satisfying their yearning. After this, Nick gives her a beautiful necklace as a birthday gift and puts it on her with his own hands. Nova's eyes had a different kind of sparkle at that moment, and she loved the gift. Then for the next few days, both of them spend time together. They go to many different places and have lots of fun. Then the story moves forward, where Nova's friends throw a party to celebrate the end of high school. There, all the students start dancing with joy because after high school, they were about to enter college. At the same time, Nick's friend Lion comes to him and jokingly says, "We're just 5 years senior to them, and now when they go to college, they'll start flying and enjoy with new boys. People like us will get busy with work, and they'll have fun with guys of their own age group. My girlfriend Jenna is also going to a medical college, and I'll be left in my garage. You're also going to leave for your internship again, and Nova will stay here in college. Long-distance relationships are very sensitive." Hearing this, Nick replies, "Don't worry, nothing like that will happen. We will never be apart from them." The next day, after the school convocation, Nova is returning from school with her mom, dad, and Nick. On the way, she sees that many parents are gifting brand new cars to their kids. Nova, surprised, says, "These people are spoiling their kids by giving such expensive gifts." But then she finds out that Nick and her mom and dad have also bought a luxury car for her. Seeing the car, she gets extremely excited. Then she starts refusing to accept it, but on Nick's insistence, she accepts the gift. After that, Nick takes her on a drive, where Nova drives the car very fast in excitement. Then Nick takes her to show his new house and says, "This house was gifted to me by my grandfather. From now on, this house is ours. And you'll be very happy to know that I'm not going away for the internship. I'll stay right here and do the internship." While talking, Nick starts kissing her, and both get romantic and slowly come close to each other. At that moment, Nick says, "From today, we'll live here together. No one will disturb us." Hearing this, Nova gets shocked, and she starts feeling that Nick doesn't want to stay with her for love, but just for pleasure. She gets angry and leaves, saying, "I've turned 18, but I'm not thinking about living together yet." Then we see the night scene where at a party Nick tells his friend Lion, "I made a mistake, man. I shouldn't have suddenly said all that to Nova. She got angry with me just after hearing about living together." Meanwhile, Nova also tells her friend Jenna, "I thought Nick loved me, but now his actions point in only one direction. Falling in love with boys like him is nothing but foolishness." But Jenna explains to her, "Look, Nova, I've known Nick since childhood. Maybe he's just afraid of losing you. And I feel like he still loves you just as much. His mom left him, and since then he gets scared in sensitive matters. You should go and talk to him." Listening to Jenna, she goes to Nick, and both of them try to act normal again. Then the next day, Nova's mom takes her to show the hostel room, where she will stay while studying in college. There, she will stay with her new roommate, whose name is Briar. Now there's a small story related to Briar's past. On the other side, we see Nick in his dad's office, where his dad has hired a new girl to help with Nick's internship. Her name is Sophia. Sophia walks in and gives Nick her introduction and says, "I know everything about you. You look like an innocent type, but your eyes scan girls instantly. So when I walk away, don't stare at my butt." Saying this, she leaves. After this, we see Nova and her mom, where Nova's mom shows her a picture of her and Nick and directly asks, "What's going on between you two? Do you even realize what could have happened if this picture got into the news? You'll have to stop all this, or people will start saying that the mother and daughter have stooped low for money." But Nova doesn't want to hear a single word. She replies, "We love each other. I've turned 18 now, and I don't care what people say." After this, Nova returns to her hostel, but as soon as she arrives, she sees that there's a party going on. But as soon as Briar sees Nova, she tells everyone to leave, and then she takes Nova to the room. Seeing Nova in a bad mood, she tries to relax her and says, "You were supposed to come after 7 days. So Nova says, "I wasn't feeling good about anything, so I came early." Then Briar tells her, "I used to love someone too, but he betrayed me. And now I'm happy being alone." Just then, a boy named Michael arrives to collect his jacket. Briar introduces him to Nova and says, "He lives in the flat opposite ours and is a very nice guy." On the other hand, William calls Rafaela and says, "Your idea worked. There's good chemistry between the two at the office." Actually, Sophia was hired to bring distance between Nova and Nick. And all of this was part of Nova's mom's planning. After this, we see Nick and Nova visiting Nick's sister Maggie. The three of them have a lot of fun together. After spending some time, when they're about to leave, Nick's real mom Claudia shows up. But Nick doesn't want to have any relationship with his mom anymore, because she had left him 10 years ago. So, he doesn't stay there even for a moment and leaves with Nova without saying a word. As soon as they return home, he becomes completely sad and tells Nova, "She didn't remember me for 10 years, then why has she come to meet me now?" Seeing Nick upset, Nova tries to calm him down and starts kissing him lovingly. Then Nick takes her into the room, and both begin to shower a lot of love on each other. Nova also feels the moment deeply. After that, Nova takes Nick to her hostel apartment. As soon as Nick enters, his eyes fall on Briar. She bumps into her and is shocked. Nova tells him that this is her roommate, Briar. But the surprise was clear on Nick's face because Briar was his ex-girlfriend, the one he had gotten separated from after an accident. But without saying much, Nick makes an excuse and leaves from there. However, he accidentally leaves his phone behind. After this, we see Nick in the car with Lion, where Lion says, "I came here to deliver drugs at my brother's request, but now I'm scared." Nick tells him, "If you needed money, you could have just asked me. Why did you need to do all this? I promised Nova that I won't do anything shady now, so I can't go in with you." But still, being a good friend, after Lion goes inside, Nick also follows him in. There they meet Ronnie's brother, Luca. But at the same time, we see Nova arriving at that place using Nick's phone location. Luca gets furious seeing Nova and says, "Because of you and your father, my brother Ronnie had to go to jail. Your father got killed brutally, and unfortunately you survived." Hearing this, Nova also starts responding, which leads to a fight. Luca's men try to attack all three of them, and in defense, they also fight back. But just then the police arrive and arrest everyone. During this, Sophia handles the case and gets Nick and Nova released. Nick tells her, "Please don't tell my dad about this." The next scene is more peaceful, where Nick gifts Nova a cute little cat. Then they both go to Nova's apartment, and Nova tries to get close to Nick. First, Nick resists, but Nova says, "Briar has gone out right now, and there's no one to disturb us here." Hearing this, Nick agrees, and both of them get very close and start making love. But just when this was about to end, Briar walks in. And seeing her, both of them get uncomfortable. And then Nick has to leave. The next morning, Nick's mom Claudia comes to meet Nova at the hostel. Nova asks, "Why have you come here?" Claudia says she needs to talk about something important regarding Nick. But Nova doesn't want to talk to her and tells her to leave. Claudia says, "Nick needs help, and if you want to know the truth, call me once." Saying this, she leaves. The next day, Nova goes to Nick's house for dinner, where she meets Sophia. But seeing Sophia, she gets very jealous. Because Nick is doing his internship with her, and she doesn't like that. Then everyone sits down for dinner together. But Nova notices that Nick and Sophia are getting quite close, which she doesn't like at all. In anger, she suddenly gets up and says in front of everyone, "Nick and I want to live together." Hearing this, everyone gets shocked. But to handle the situation, Nova's mom tells everyone, "Today is the day Nova's dad died. And since then, she sees nightmares at night. So sometimes she behaves like this." Then Nick goes to Nova and apologizes for forgetting the importance of this day. But Nova is angry and says, "You're lying to me and slowly getting close to Sophia." Nick explains, "There's nothing between me and Sophia. Our relationship is only professional, and I only love you." Nova says, "But your dad wants you to marry Sophia." Nick replies, "That's not going to happen. I won't ever let that happen, and you should trust me." Still Nova leaves. The next day, Nova invites Claudia to her house. There was no one home, so Claudia tells her to check some papers kept in the dryer. When Nova looks at those photos and documents, she finds out that Nick's dad William had falsely accused Claudia and divorced her, and also took Nick's custody. Whereas the truth was, Nick's dad was already in a relationship with Nova's mom. Meanwhile, Claudia sneaks into William's room and secretly takes his toothbrush. The next day, Nick takes Nova out for dinner to make up with her, and shows her a tattoo of Nova's name on his arm. Nova feels happy but says, "You shouldn't have done this. This will stay with you forever." Then they start dancing. During that, Nick tells her that he has to go to London with Sophia for a case. Nova says, "Okay, I have no issue with that." Then they spend the night together. The next morning, Nick and Sophia leave for London. There, Nick meets his granddad and asks about Briar. Granddad tells him that after the accident, Briar was in a mental hospital for 2 years, and that it wasn't Nick's fault, so he shouldn't worry. Just then, Sophia comes in and says they've won the case. Hearing this, Nick hugs her in happiness and kisses her. But at that very moment, someone is seen secretly taking their photos. After this, Nick returns home and starts calling for Nova. But she wasn't home. On the other side, Nova is partying with Briar and Michael at her hostel apartment. After a while, Briar gets tired and goes to sleep. And then Michael, about to leave, tries to get close to Nova. She refuses, but just then, Nick walks in and sees them together. He gets angry, thinking Nova cheated on him, and starts saying hurtful things out of misunderstanding. Nova says, "It's not what you're thinking. But day by day, the misunderstandings between us are increasing. Maybe we should take a break for a few days." Nick agrees and leaves angrily. Then he gets busy with his work, while we see that Sophia has started to like Nick secretly. During this time, Michael also gets a chance to impress Nova. One day, Nick goes to his friend Lion's garage, where Lion tells him that Ronnie has been released from jail, and will be racing in 2 days. They both decide this is the chance to get revenge on Ronnie, because Ronnie had kidnapped Nova earlier, and police had arrested him and put him in jail. Since then, there's been no race between them, and now it's time. They plan not to let Jenna or Nova find out anything about this, because on that same night, Nick's dad is throwing a success party, so they'll win the race and arrive at the party in time. Then the day arrives. Nick and Lion reach the race location, where Ronnie and a few other racers are present. But suddenly, Nova also arrives there with Jenna, and Nick learns that she's also going to race. Then a girl comes and explains the racing rules. If police show up during the race, You all will be solely responsible. And only after the race finishes, the winner will receive the money. The race starts, and a fierce competition begins. Meanwhile, Briar calls the police and informs them about illegal racing. Soon police start chasing them. But all racers manage to dodge them and continue racing. However, one police car blocks the finish line at gunpoint. Seeing this, Nick and Nova team up. They sandwich Ronnie's car from both sides and push it into the police car, causing an accident. Their friend Lion wins the race. After this, Ronnie is arrested for illegal racing and attacking police. All other racers manage to escape. They reach home, and the party has already begun. Nova enters with Briar. Lion apologizes to Jenna. But Jenna says, "I love you. But you always chase money and do shady things." Lion says, "Winning today's race didn't make me happy. Being with you makes me the happiest." But Jenna doesn't listen and leaves. Meanwhile, Briar had already told Nova everything about her and Nick's past. Nick says to Briar, "I had no idea what happened to you after the accident." Briar tells him, "You ran away and left me. I was pregnant. I lost everything and your family was responsible. Yet you didn't even try to find me once." Then Briar walks through the kitchen and brings Nick's mom Claudia to the party. Everyone is shocked seeing Claudia. She speaks to everyone and tells the truth. That William had divorced her for Rafaela, because they already had an affair, and had falsely accused her to take Nick away. To not ruin the party atmosphere, they all go to the garden. There William says, "All ties with this family are closed for you. What do you want?" She shows a DNA report and says, "My daughter Maggie is also William's daughter, born after the divorce. So she deserves her share of the property." William asks, "How did you get my DNA?" She says, "I took it from your toothbrush. And if you refuse to give the property, I'll file a case." Nick asks, "How did you get into the house?" Nova says, "I brought her here." Hearing this, Nick gets very angry and says, "Because of you, my whole family is destroyed." Nova tries to explain, "I thought your mom wanted to fix everything." But Nick doesn't listen and walks away in anger. Nova follows him, but Nick goes and kisses Sophia. Seeing this, Nova is heartbroken. Then Briar comes to Nova and shows her some photos of Nick and Sophia. And here we find out that Briar was the one who took those photos and had told Michael to get close to Nova. She wanted revenge from Nick. Seeing those pictures, Nova feels even more devastated and walks away. Nick is driving somewhere angrily when Lion tells him, "You didn't do right with Nova. You don't ruin a relationship over one incident." Hearing this, Nick realizes he was wrong and returns to the party to talk to Nova. But Briar tells him, "You'll never see Nova again." Then Nick goes to her hostel to find her. Meanwhile, Nova enters Michael's room and makes an excuse. Says she lost her room key. Michael realizes something happened between her and Nick. While this happens, Nick keeps messaging her repeatedly. But before Nova can see them, Michael switches off her phone. Then, out of anger toward Nick, Nova becomes intimate with Michael. Michael takes full advantage of the moment. After everything, we see Nova deeply sad. Michael brings her coffee, but she refuses and walks out. Outside, Nick was already waiting in the rain in front of the hostel. But even seeing him, she says nothing and walks past him. Seeing her in that state, Nick realizes everything is truly over now. He leaves in his car. At the end of the story, we see Nova going to her dad's grave. Heartbroken, she says a final goodbye to her father. But just then, she notices something written there. It was from Nick. Said Nick will always be with Nova. Reading this, Nova becomes extremely emotional. It seemed like everything between them was over. But what will happen in the next part of this story? That remains a suspense for us. And with that suspense, the story ends here. So friends, I hope you really like this story. And if you're visiting our channel for the first time, Please like the video and subscribe to the channel.